Warning: under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976, allowance is made for fair use for purpose such as a criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statutes that might otherwise be infringing. Nonprofit, educational, or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use. All people are presumed innocent until proven guilty in a court of law. I reserve my First Amendment rights to express myself. I reserve my First Amendment What is going on? Hey, everybody.
Hey, whoa.
Testing, testing. Can y'all hear me? Testing, testing. Can y'all hear me? Okay, it looks like we are back. I am sorry. I don't know what is going on. Technical difficulties. They must not want me to talk about this, guys. So let's put it over here. Because my mouse just died, so I have it plugged in. So now I'm not wireless anymore. So frustrating. But I've been actually doing a lot of work on here, and I should have charged it yesterday, but I didn't. Um, so it looks like, let's see if I could put my background back on. Okay. Yeah, you can see. Yeah, whatever. Okay. So today we are going to be talking about the California bill that people are calling it what it can be. Um, but first, we before we get into that, I just want to do a quick news updates. Um, Here in San Antonio, we did have a woman charged with child abuse as investigators seek more victims. So this is going to be, I'm going to play this right now, and then I'll play this at the end. So if you know anybody who is local here in Texas, anywhere around the Bexar County area or surrounding areas, if you know anybody who has a child that came in contact with this woman, something you want to contact, the authorities about. Um, so let me go ahead and share this screen. Oh wait, am I in? And what's this? Let me. I'm gonna have to move it again. I have so many things open right now. I am so sorry, guys. I know it's not popping. Hmm. I don't know if it's gonna allow to pay the. Hold on, I'll pay it this way. Sorry, guys, I gotta go the long way because apparently.
San Antonio police have arrested a woman accused of sex abuse of a child, and they believe there are more victims out there. 39-year-old Crystal Celestina Candia faces charges of sex abuse of a child. Someone discovered child sex abuse materials with a child Candia had access to and reported those materials to police. The SAPD Special Victims Unit and FBI Task Force worked closely together and arrested Candia on Monday. If you have any information about other victims, call the Special Victims Unit or 911.
Again, if you know anybody who's come in contact with this woman anywhere in Texas, Bexar County, surrounding areas mainly, and yes, again, contact authority. Um, let's continue. I think they did make an arrest, but anyway, let's see. We will get back to that. So, as you may know, there's this big old talk about this AB495 bill from California. They initially they came up with this bill to help the immigrants during this whole ICE raid time situation. Again, politics, don't want to get into it, but I just think this bill shouldn't even be even thought about. But anyway, I mean, I get what. Yeah, I mean, there does need to be a bill, to protect, the children who are, legal citizens here who have parents that are not. That does present a problem, but we just don't give the entire world free access to our children. So if y'all are not up to date about what's going on, again, this bill was to help out the immigrants who had small children being separated from their families. Um, Give me one more. Sorry, my dog was playing with the ball and the other one was getting jealous. That's what all the whining and barking was. So anyway, what is going on with my camera? Oh my goodness. Can you say Hack Nation with YouTube? Like, oh my God, this is going to get on my nerves. Again, I'll just stop my video. So, um, anyway, so the bill again was the Alliance for Children's Rights and Public Counsel. What will it do? It requires schools to implement specific policies ensuring that emergency contact information is kept up to date, standardized recognition of caregivers' authorization affidavits so schools and agencies honor them consistently, expands the categories of caregivers eligible to use a caregiver affidavit to include non-relative extended family members, clarify that a parent's choice for who should serve as their children's guardian be given due weight by the probate court, creates a new short-term guardianship process in probate court, allowing parents facing immigration-related separations to designate a short-term guardian while maintaining their parental rights. So again, this is for the people who are getting, the immigrants who are getting split up, who have small children here that are U.S. citizens and their parents are not. So this is a problem because this was actually created because if we would just
make everybody do things the right way, and not and I know there's certain circumstances, with war and stuff like that, to allow certain people over and speed up the process, but of getting US citizenships. But at the same time, once we start letting people in, it just messed up our whole system here. And then now we're having other issues in regards to that are trickling from those decisions back in the past. So now we're having, bunch of families who are being separated because, yes, they chose not to follow the rules and regulations here to become a U.S. citizen, and now their children are feeling the effect of it. So as adults, as parents and adults, they made the choice not to comply with the law, and now their children are suffering. So now they're trying to find a way to make sure these children don't suffer because of the result of bad decision making. So regardless, I mean, that's my intake on it. That's my opinion on what's going on with the whole immigration system and the ICE and all the raids and things like that. Again, to a certain extent, there's got to be an equal a very, I know it's a fine line to try to do, but I think they're real quick to do what they're doing as far as sending them back. I don't think they really thought out the whole process about what's going to happen to these children. Because if that was the case, they would have had something set up already, a program set up for these children when they do. And then, and not including that, I I don't know if maybe also, I mean, I could probably be thinking again, I try to stay away from politics as much as possible, but I don't know if like this whole ICE thing was a way to get these kids separated from their parents, and then they become guardians of the state. I mean, they become, to the state property. So I don't know if that was the intent or what was the actual realistic, or just because that he just wanted to make a strong point and saying rules are rules and you're going to follow them regardless. So not thinking about the repercussions of it, and at the same time, yes, it was up to the parents to do the right thing. But at the same time, we cannot fail the kids who are legal citizens, who are going to become our future. We still got to protect them. So it's a difficult position, and then there's millions of people in this world, so you're not going to make everybody happy. So I get the frustration amongst the community and things like that, amongst the states and countries. So again, that was what the bill of AB 495 was supposed to do as far as public social services and the children. It's supposed to prevent that additional child trauma, strengthening family stability, and emergency contact planning. So that is what the government is telling us right now. Let me see. My camera is still not working. Let me see if I can fix it one more time, guys. Because oh, back. Okay, so let's continue. So there has been several pastors, preachers, those kind of pastors, preachers, priests, things of that sort. They really been speaking out about in regards to this. One of them even says AB495 is dangerous under the guise of protecting families. This California bill gives the state power to assign guardians to children without full parental consent and expands who qualifies as a caregiver, even to non-relatives. This threatens biblical parental authority and opens the door for state overreach into Christians' homes. Children are a gift from the Lord, and parents, not courts, are called to raise them in truth. We must reject AB 495 and stand for God's design for plan. And this was spoken out on it's the Bible verse brand. So he's definitely looking into that. And I wanted to show you the video from, let's see if I can go back. I should have it in my history. Or did I? Yeah, it's my history. So I'm going to go. Sorry, guys. I was going to echo. Oh, no, it's in my playlist. My bad. Wrong one. Give me a second. I think it was in my Facebook then. I know I saved it, guys. But for some reason, I thought it was... it's right here. So I'm going to share this real quick. And this is another pastor. He actually warns people to leave the states if that's how bad it's getting, guys. California is allowing random strangers to pull your child from school, daycare, and without your permission. They can just take your child. This is legal kidnapping, basically. So I'm sorry, I'm supposed to share that. I forgot what I was doing as I was talking about this. It's kind of upsetting. So again, this is a pastor there in California. His name is Jack Hibbs. So let's listen to what he has to say, guys. It is very interesting. Let me pull this out so I can see. We're going to share this. Let's go ahead and start.
Off. Just plan on having a sore throat or something that day. I'm going to ask all of you to drive, bus, fly. I don't care how you get there, but I want you to meet me at the Capitol steps in Sacramento, because Sacramento, our elected leaders are right now trying to get a bill passed that's the unthinkable. For years, we've been telling you about bad bills that they've been doing. This takes the cake. It is so bad you won't believe me if I told you the details of this bill. You will not believe it. In fact, on Sunday when I make the official announcement, just watch the media. Watch how they'll say, he doesn't know what he's talking about. That can't be true. That's not what it means. Oh, you watch and see. So Gavin Newsom and his buddies up there have crafted Assembly Bill 495. Go do some research on it, 495. You can start by going to the Real Impact, by the way, realimpact.us website. But I'll just tell you this, if you would please save the date. We're looking for a minimum of 5,000 people to be there that day. And take the day off. Let your voice be heard just by showing up. You won't have to say anything, just stand there. Believe me, The last time we gathered up there, it was the largest gathering in 27 years in our state capitol. And so we want to do it again. We want to make a statement because everybody, this bill, AB495, 100% strips parents of their parental rights. It allows an individual to obtain this new form that comes with the bill. They can download it, they can get it mailed to them, they can go pick it up. They fill it out, and they can name a child. So let's say Susie Q. So John goes to a school in California and says, I have this form, and I am asking for Susie Q to be put into my, to be received into my custody. I want to take her out of school. Watch this. Bill does not require a background check for this man. Requires no identification, no driver's license, no nothing. Here it is. Hang on. There's no requirement in the bill for the school to call you to ask you if it's okay if John takes your daughter out of school. It is literally being called by opponents of it, I'm one of them, the California Legislature trafficking bill. It's a meat market bill. It is a trafficking bill. It is unbelievable. So much so, don't believe me. Go to realimpact.us. Read about it. On Sunday, you're going to be given a flyer, information. But the biggest thing of all is for you, I'm asking if you would take the day off. Pray about it. Of course, pray about everything. Take the day off, caravan, get a bus, join people, get the word out. Somehow, maybe we can even create. Maybe we can have some sort of a gathering point that if you want to go, meet over here in the courtyard and you guys can exchange information and meet up on that day or the day before. I don't know, whatever you decide. But we've got to make a statement. And it's got to be big. This is it. This is the end of it. This is the end. This is it. I have to tell you, if this bill passes, I am going to ask you to leave the state of California. You're going to need to pack up and you're going to have to get out. You got to get out. You got to run with your kids. You got to go. If this bill passes, then the state legislature will have approved a bill written by themselves. By the way, 4 or 5 reprobates have written it. And we're going to let you know who they are, and we're going to campaign against them also, by the way. But yeah, if you have kids in the state of California, if this passes, you got to go. I would not subject my child to 1 second in this public school system with this new law, AB 495. Your child's safety is number one in your life. And I don't care if you like the weather. And I never thought the day would ever come when I would encourage you to leave.
Just leave the schools.
But that day, you have no idea what's coming to California regarding homeschools. Listen to me when I say get ready to leave. Because homeschoolers, you're about ready to find out. This is the California government, ladies and gentlemen, that somebody's voted them in. I think we did, maybe, by not voting. Just sit that out. I don't get involved in that kind of stuff. And here we are. Because whenever there's an evil, it's interesting, evil always fills a void, a vacancy. Jesus said that. A man void of the Holy Spirit, the demons go search out and bring 7 more demons worse than himself. And inhabits the man because there was a vacancy. Because good people don't vote in California, we've got idiots running this state. Perverts. And California, I mean, the nation laughs at us, but Gavin Newsom's getting ready to run for president, and you laugh about it. The nation will vote for him. He sounds like Batman. He's got awesome hair. And some people think he's handsome. That's enough for anybody to get elected in America. That's how deep our civics are. But as you can tell, I'm angry, and I'll die on this hill. This is the end of California. If this bill passes, your children are now subject and vulnerable to state-sanctioned, call it what, kidnapping or trafficking?
Slavery.
So we'll just let it continue, or we'll make some noise. And at least in this country, you can show up, you can stand in silence. You come to Sacramento, I'll do all the talking if I don't get arrested first. We're going to have a time by Sunday. I was afraid somebody would ask what time. This is a good problem. We thought we had the afternoon, and I'm not going to say the name, but someone up there got us the Capitol steps for the entire day. That's amazing. That's a miracle. But already by now, there are people that are sending messages just from this announcement, trust me, up to Newsom right now. This is what he's saying right now. So they'll do what they can to stop us from showing up. But I'm just going to ask you to stand for righteousness and to do the right thing. I need all of you to take August.
Okay, so you guys heard that. That's gonna happen. So again, he explained it very well. Close that out. Let's close this one out. Okay. So now we're gonna play another video. And this is actually on July 30th. This is from the California Republic Assembly .org. So this is another one. So we're just going to quickly read the article. The state of California is quietly passing a law that will allow a non-family member adult to take guardianship over any minor with a simple form. In that form, there is a box to check if parents cannot be located. The author states this is meant for families where the parent has been deported. However, nowhere in the bill does this apply only to one demographic. This will apply to all children, and no one is talking about it. This bill is currently in Senate Appropriations. Should it pass out of this committee, it will most likely pass the floor and go to the governor for his signature. At that point, Gavin Newsom can veto AB495, or he can show the nation that California is the hub for state-sanctioned trafficking. So I'm going to go ahead and share this video. This is going to be a video. Oops, sorry. I didn't mean to just turn off my video. Sorry. stream. Again, I'm sorry. I don't know if I'm able to. I don't think I'm able to make this video any bigger, but it's mostly just listen to what she has to say.
Nicole Pearson, I'm a mother of three, a child of immigrants, and an attorney who spent her career helping immigrants and fighting human trafficking. I am also desperate to help children affected by ICE raids, but AB 495 is not it. We all know this because in 2021, the federal government faced a swell of unaccompanied minors at the border and was desperate to place them quickly. What did they do? They reduced vetting procedures, and as a result, the Department of Homeland Security has lost track of over now 600,000 unaccompanied minors. Despite this, California wants to do something similar, but even worse. With just one sheet of paper from the internet, California wants to let someone that is not related to your child remove her from school, enroll her in any other school in the state, authorize any medical treatment of her, including mental health services and drugs, without the parent's notice and knowledge or consent. This is not fear-mongering. I'm not being hyperbolic. It's stated right here in the caretaker's affidavit that I printed for you, which I pulled directly from the bill. Line 6 allows this transfer of parental rights without even having to speak to the parent. The author claims AB 495 is about giving immigrant families the agency to choose the safety plan that works, that preserves family unity. Where is the parental designation? Their signature at the bottom here is not required. She's co-opting a term non-relative family member from the foster care and dependency probate systems, but without any of the procedural guardrails. No background checks, no interviews, no home visits, no fingerprinting, parental involvement, or civil, criminal, or professional liability if the child is harmed. Just 100% blanket protection for any adult seeking to abuse any vulnerable child, because this does not limit it to immigrant children. This applies to every single child in the state. Our children deserve to be protected through proper legal channels that currently exist, that have safeguards, and not just shortcuts that enable exploitation. We appreciate the author's intentions, but these unintended consequences are terrifying and they're unavoidable. We have systems and agencies in place that track and ensure children are safe and return to their parents while respecting parental rights. We can and must support immigrant families with solutions that don't gamble children's lives. Please vote no on AB 495. I remain committed and offer my services to the Assemblywoman, free of charge, to help find solutions that work and actually achieve her goals. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Anyone else?
So, as you can tell, they're allowing California is going to pass this for more than likely. Well, I'm hoping not, but it looks like this bill may pass where anybody could come in and take your child. No parental consent, no parental signature, no identification, no vetting, no nothing. You just need to print out a piece of paper, fill it out, and say parents cannot be contacted, and you have every access to whatever child you want. Yes, this is going to be a very dangerous situation. Again, as you heard that other pastor, they are getting ready to rally up there in Sacramento on the Capitol steps. So, as you can tell, this lady who just spoke, she's actually works with immigrants. She defends these immigrants and things like that. But she also opposes this because she understands the risk to the children that can happen. Again, we know that there's a problem and there needs to be a solution, but this isn't it. And if you're leaning towards a solution, it needs to be more in depth. It need to be more geared to where it specifies it's only for illegal aliens or whatever. I make sure that they needed and I don't know, like this. this is a big old mess. I just think with this, they're taking with what's going on as far as ICE and the protests and the raids and things like that. I think this bill is supposed to is basically the opposite of that, because remember Newsom and Trump are going back and forth. So he's basically, I think, in retaliating against this, not looking at the critical possibilities that people out there. I mean, we already got a problem with it. Let's not make it easier for these people to take our kids. And then have no repercussions if something bad was to happen. Like, y'all don't want to take responsibility. Like, oh, well, they filled out the paperwork. Like, no, that's not going to work. So there's this article. Let's see. From the California Family Council, and this is going to be human trafficking, parental rights. Let me go ahead and share the screen. We'll go over that, and then we'll go over the website that the pastor brought up as well. The real impact, and let's see what they show. So we're going to read over this because these are all based on state websites. These are these are the .orgs and stuff like that. These are actual coming from the state, what they want us to hear and want us to believe. So as California lawmakers recess for the summer, Assembly Bill 495, dubbed the Family Preparedness Plan Act of 2025. So that's what they're calling it. It's a Family Preparedness Plan Act of 2025. Sits poised in the Senate Appropriations Committee, authored by Assemblywoman Celeste Rodriguez. The bill claims to provide compassionate solutions for immigrant families facing sudden separations due to detention or deportation. But critics, including attorneys, parental rights advocates, and faith-based organizations, warn it dangerously redefines guardianship, strips away parental rights, and creates legal loopholes that make kidnapping children easy. The word dumb, anything. I swear, sometimes people who are in these high positions do not have the most common sense. So the intent for this, the no child should face uncertainty. Assemblywoman Rodriguez and her supporters argue that AB 495 ensures children are not left vulnerable if a parent is detained unexpectedly by federal immigration officials. Her bill attempts to create streamlined guardianship by allowing a non-relative extended family member, defined broadly as anyone with a mentoring relationship, to assume control over a child through a one-page affidavit, no court review, no notarization, no parental consent required. Rodriguez defends the bill by highlighting the existing tools like caregivers' authorization affidavits lack clarity and enforceability. She insists AB 495 enhances child welfare by giving caregivers legal recognition and children access to essential services without unnecessary disruption. But opponents argue the exact opposite. I mean, as they should. I mean, hey, Rainbow Tasha. Yes, they are definitely. Again, I'm not sure if you're here for the other video, but welcome. I know I've been gone for a while. School starts on the 11th, so I should be back on pretty much almost every day, as long as there's no mishaps with them at school. But no, they are literally geared. What it is supposed to be is geared towards the immigration and the people who are not, the illegal aliens, and the children who are yes, back to school is hectic. I'm still trying to get my children back on schedule, like, hey, we got to wake up early now. No more staying up late. But it's going to be rough for them. I just know that. Not rough for me because I get to stay here, but rough for them. I did my time in school. So, but yes. But with this bill, what it's doing, it's really making it access. So of course, what you can do, you can go to the website, print out a page, mark off that you cannot reach the parents. The parents are not able, you cannot contact the parents, and no signature, no notary, no ID, no nothing will be checked. You could take that, you could fill it out, mark that you can't contact the parents, put whatever child's name on it, take it to the school, and they're not gonna be able to say no. They're gonna have to give that child to this person. So yeah, very. And so what this is gonna do is now make the schools little affidavit that they have on who they can release the child to, um more regulated. So what they say, but if this affidavit kind of overrides what they already have in their system, then whatever they have in their system, even though they don't take, it's not always up to date, or it's not, trust me, because school systems, their information is never up to date. You know how many times I took my number off so they can contact the dad and they still call me. So I'm like, ah. But yeah, I'm just like, or like one time they actually called my parents before they called me. I'm like, why are you calling the emergency contact when y'all haven't even went down the chain of command and called me first? Y'all just went straight to calling the emergency, which is fine. It's my parents, but I'm like, make no sense. Yes, it would definitely change. Not how they are released from school on a daily basis. Let's just say, again, this is more for what it's geared for. It's for those children who are being separated from their parents during these ICE raids. So you know how the children are U.S. citizens because they were born here, but their parents weren't. So they're illegal aliens. They're getting deported, and these children who are left here are being very vulnerable, and nobody knows what to do with them. Basically, how are they going to be able to get any kind of information from the parents to allow whoever the parents allow their child to stay with? I'm sure the parents have, relatives here that are established and citizens that they can well more than let their child stay with, but they would need to go through that process, giving them temporary custody, things like that, so they can make the medical decisions, things like that, which usually you need to get notarized by a notary, which means you need to go in there and present ID and things like that, and everybody needs to say who they are, and it's confirmed, and everything is safe. And then you show that to the school. Then you're allowed to make these decisions for the child while the parents are away handling their legal issues. Yes, and it really is. That's why I'm saying, like, this whole thing is messed up. And one issue is leading to it is making 10 problems, and then those 10 problems are making 10 more problems, and it's just a web of problems being created. So the TV's out and nobody's even into watching it. So yes, so what they're saying is like, let's just say everybody, all their family, all their cousins and everybody, they all travel together. So they're all illegal aliens except for the minor children. And these minor children have nowhere else to go. They don't. So let's just say you have like somebody like me, I'm a friend of yours. And then you're like, you know what? Can you take care of my child while my family, all of us are getting deported? 8 of us are getting deported because we all know we could fit 10 Mexicans in a Pinto, right? So, okay, I could say that. So anyway, but yeah, so let's just say they all get deported and the kids are here and you leave them with a family friend or something. They're going to require the same notary and things like that. So yes, I did say that. It's always been a long time joke. Trust me, we could still fit like 6 people in a truck, or actually more, because there is 6, 8, like 10 people in a truck. Trust me, we still do it. And that was a joke over the weekend too when we did it. I was like, hey, how many Mexicans can we fit in the truck? Trust me, you could fit a lot. So anyway, but yeah, so it's really meant for these immigrant children. But the only thing is with this law, it doesn't state on that affidavit that they're requiring to be filled out that yes, Texas people definitely understand that. So, I mean, it's always been a long time running joke in our family, but because it's always been like that. But yeah, so these children are now left. See, this is why when Trump made this law saying all the illegal aliens need to be deported. Yes, I clearly got I see where he was trying to go with this. Yes, they need to be repercussions for people who break the law, for people who are not following the steps on becoming U.S. citizens, who are just, even though they are working, they're doing a good thing, but they're still not taking the steps to become a U.S. citizen. You're just pretty much here taking advantage of, you know, the resources that we have here, and you're taking it away from legal citizens here. So I understand that, but to just not think about what was going to happen to the children who are minors and who are citizens was the issue. That's what causes, again, one problem causes 10 other problems. So for them just passing that bill or passing that law, automatically doing it, and not figuring out what they're going to do with these children, to these families, again, they should have had some kind of program set up already. Like, okay, these families are getting taken away, we're going to put them over here, we're going to see what the parents ask these parents, like, hey, yes, we are know you're getting deported, but your children are still our priority here because they are U.S. citizens. So you need to list at least 3 people who you recommend your child to go stay with. Like, I don't understand, how hard, figure out a system, and then the system will work. Like, if you have a system in place, but just to go freely and say, oh, all of y'all guys go back, and then not care about the repercussions about what happens, or think for like 10 steps in the future, then we're going to have these kind of problems. So it is definitely a domino effect. So this is the effect of the ICE raids for them not thinking about the children to begin with. So now we're having this problem with the children. What are we going to do with them? And so now they're just allowing free reign to anybody. There's, again, no way of all they got to do is mark off that one box. You don't need no signature, no notary. You take it to the school. That person could pull that child out, and you will never see that child again. That's the problem that they're having. They didn't specify clearly on what this bill was actually intended to be for, and they didn't apply regulations and things like that to make it safe and to be built what it's for. So again, I understand what they're doing because they're focusing on the kids, but then again, they're not looking at the whole aspect of what the crazies can do with this type of bill if there's no set rules and regulations on this affidavit. Yes, that's exactly. And see, we have, I mean, I don't like, we have shelters, we have, all these other side things like adoptions agencies. Like, we have children that are in the system already who are U.S. citizens. So you're trying to tell me we can't come up with a system for children who are U.S. citizens whose parents are immigrants? I mean, or who are illegal aliens? Like, come on now. I don't get it. You could build 10 jails, but you can't build a facility. They built a facility to send these people, to deport these people back, but y'all couldn't build a facility to make sure the kids were safe. That's what I'm talking about. Like, I get it. You built a facility to send all these people back, but what about their kids? You just left them on the street. You left them God knows where. And these are the people who were supposed to be protecting, because these children are actually U.S. citizens and they have rights as a U.S. citizen. So I'm just like, I'm mind blown by this. I'm really mind blown by this. So, again, Friday also rejects Rodriguez's claim that this bill is narrowly tailored to immigration emergencies. The bill's language applies to any child for any reason, regardless of immigration status, and grants temporary legal rights to individuals with no blood relation, including people who may not even be known to the child's parents. The stranger can consent to medical treatments for the child, and the bill absolves the doctors from any liability should the adult consenting not have any actual legal connection to the child. Nicole Pearson, this is not fear mongering. Attorney Nicole Pearson, founder of Facts Law True Justice, echoed these concerns in her testimony before the Senate Human Services Committee. California wants to let someone that is not related to your child remove her from school or him from school, enroll her in any other school or enroll him in any other school in the state, authorize any medical treatment of her or him, including mental health services and drugs, without the parent's notice and knowledge or consent. This is not fear mongering. I'm not being hyperbolic. These unintended consequences are terrifying and they are unavoidable. Pearson, who has represented immigrant families and trafficking survivors. So again, this is somebody who works with these people on a daily basis and who tries to fight for their rights here in the States. But even she sees the concerns of what this can lead when it comes this far. Noted that the bill's vague definitions and so this is what I'm saying. The whole bill in its entirety, the concept of this bill is not wrong. But leaving these vagues and fighting that the bill is perfect as the way it is, now that is wrong. When people are expressing their concerns like this, you should go back and fix this bill, add in rules, regulations, some kind of system, a system that is not going to break down. Then yes, we can go on. Again, the idea behind it is understandable, but the execution is poor. So noted that the bill's vague definitions and lack of procedure safeguards and eerily similar to federal mishandlings that led to over 600,000, not just 6,000, not just 60,000, but 600,000 unaccounted for unaccompanied minors in 2021. So if they were unaccompanied and if they were unaccounted for, what happened to them? Where did they go? Who did they end up? Did they ever become citizens? Now, are they parents of children who are citizens and things like that? You see how history is kind of biting us in the ass right now, guys? So again, when we don't think things fully through and we don't look at all the possibilities of what can happen to our children, then that's going to affect us at the end. It is going to hurt us. It is going to hurt us. Yes, children born in America are U.S. citizens, and they have rights. So this is why I don't understand why when this ICE raid started, we didn't think about the children's rights. We were only worried about our ego, our hurt, and I get it. There's something did need to be done about the issue of illegal aliens here in the States, and them, you know, I don't want to be mean because, they are still human beings, but they're taking away our resources for U.S. citizens. There's more help and assistance for Medicaid, food stamps, Social Security, all these other, I mean, not even Social Security, I mean, because they're not aliens, but from these other, even housing, even, from housing, food stamps, Medicaid, that's medical services, from everything. They get a lot of those services, and a lot of U.S. citizens don't get those services that still do need some type of services. So I don't even know how's that not, it is. I mean, straight up, they're making it legal. They're making kidnapping legal is what it is. And so also I think, again, this is Newsom part. So I just think a lot of these people who are coming up with this is basically retaliating against what's going on with Trump. And it's becoming this who's who's bigger than who kind of thing, and ultimately it's going to be affecting our children. And they're not grasping that concept. It's like, let your ego go. Okay, so he got up one on you. He's doing all these raids. Good for you. But yeah, let's come out with the bill to save the children. But let's do this right now. Let's not put them in any. Let's not put U.S. children, U.S. children who are from U.S. citizens not be put into danger, because these children who do have U.S. rights as a U.S. citizen, and their parents don't. You see what I'm kind of saying? So it's a big ordeal, and they do get a lot of resources, but I think the only way to do about the resources is not to go and do a full-blown raid. I just think that, again, they need to go back to the system when it comes to qualifying people for housing, when it comes to qualifying people for Medicaid. I get it. If the child is a U.S. citizen, they have more than every right to get Medicaid. If the parent doesn't, then they should not add that person in the household. So when they do food stamps and things like that, I admit I got 6 kids. I definitely don't make it. I definitely don't make enough to support everybody and then pay the bills. Like, that's crazy. So, but what I'm saying is those people who I see who are 2-parent household, who still work, and then they have 2 or 3 kids. Yes, it's not as many as I do, but I know that it's still difficult to support them, especially in this time here in Texas with the rents. There's no rent control here, so rents are off the wazoo for 1 2-bedroom. I mean, they're not far off from what California rent prices are now, and we don't definitely make the same. Our pay rates here are definitely not the same as they are in California. So I don't know why they expect us to pay that much as they do in California for an apartment. So again, I can understand hardworking Americans, but then they don't qualify because they make too much or whatever. It's like, how do you make too much? Like, aren't you behind on your bill or whatever? So apparently you don't make enough to support your family and to support everything else that comes with supporting family. You got to think about it. It's not just groceries. You got clothes. You got, I mean, we do have TANF. And again, I don't even qualify for TANF. Hello. And I'm the one that needs help paying rent and stuff like that, and bills and things like that. I'm just like, so I get it when it comes to these kids, but when it comes to food, when they take those applications and these people are not legal, they're not U.S. citizens, but their child is, then they should only get the amount for the child. Honestly, that is my opinion, because one, the adult is an adult. You can go make your own money. You can support yourself. These kids don't. Medicaid as well. You get the Texas Women Health, what covers, contraceptives and things like that only. And yes, they're only for women's health issues and not for like regular doctor visits and things like that. But yet, you're not a citizen. Your child may be 13, yes, 18 years old, and they're U.S. citizens. Yes, I get that. But you as an adult shouldn't get those services because you're not a U.S. citizen. Get your own medical insurance. Pay for it. Because a lot of times you're making money under the table because you can't get a job. So you're not getting taxed. You're not getting this. So I see a lot of the issues for being a citizen, and then for being on assistance. And there's even times where I was the only one providing it, and yet I couldn't get food stamps. They're like, no, you found a job, you're good, you make too much now. I'm like, half the time you're geared to not want to work because you do get more help when all you're asking is, hey, I just need like $100 extra a month. No, you're good. So, or whatever. And it's the system itself it's not set up right. And yes, I get where they're saying these non-citizens do get our benefits, and it does hurt us. And so again, I see the picture, just don't agree with how they're going about it. Again, it's ran by men. Except for this person is actually a female. I don't know what she's trying to do. But again, yet AB495 goes even further. Pearson warns the bill co-opts the term non-relative extended family member from dependency foster care court But since its caretaker's authorization affidavit will not be used in connection with any official legal proceedings, completely sidesteps the system safeguards. So like I said, remember how I said every person, the schools, they require you to fill out the emergency things. These are the only people who you allow the school to release your child to. This affidavit would completely overwrite that, and that won't even matter. So regardless how well their records are kept, even though they update everything and they're more alert and stuff like that, what's the issue if this affidavit is going to override it? So this system safeguards such as background checks, fingerprinting, home visits, welfare checks, interviews, hearings, and liability if the child is harmed. This is not a compassionate bill designed to help the children of undocumented immigrants. It is a license to take vulnerable children and make them disappear, she said in a later interview. So this bill actually it promotes a compassionate safeguard for children of detained immigrant parents. It, in fact, expands who qualifies as a caregiver to include non-relative extended family members, defined as any adults with an established familial or mentoring relationship with the child. So it could be like a baseball coach or a pastor or even your therapist kind of thing, or with a relative of the child's, a broad and loosely defined category. So, but the thing is, if that's the case, you would think, oh, they would know the person, but yet again, they're not checking for any ID. So you could just be like, oh yeah, we shot hoops all the time. I'm their next door neighbor. They know me. I tutor that kid, whatever. So again, idea, okay, execution, bad. Authorization. So the second thing is it authorizes the use of a caregiver's authorization affidavit by these individuals, allowing them to assume decision-making authority over a child's schooling and medical care without a court appearance, notarization, or parental signature. It grants caregivers the legal ability to enroll a child and authorize medical, dental, and mental health treatments, including treatments related to school participation. This includes sex trait modification procedures. So again, whoever takes your child, if they want to experiment with them and turn them into Frankenstein, by all means, they have every legal right to turn them into Frankenstein. Yes, I know, a little out there in my descriptions. But yes, you get it. They're allowed to take the child out and make any kind of medical decisions. If they want to become a cat, they're going to let them become, if they want to, they can let them become a cat. Yes, females can definitely make bad rules. I think the politicians just don't care about the poor people, period. Yes, and I wouldn't say poor, maybe financially unstable, but yes, poor people. Yes, I'm poor. I'll take it. But yes, I just think they're real quick. I really think they're rushing to do this to outdo Trump. I really think this is a back and forth in power and position. And again, like that one pastor said, Newsom is getting ready to run for president. And if Newsom passes this bill, I wouldn't be surprised if Newsom has an opportunity to become president. Like that, this bill will be kind of the insight of what's going to happen when, like, if this bill doesn't get pushed, then more than likely, I don't think Newsom's going to have that upper hand, because technically if this bill gets pushed, then we know what kind of power Newsom has and the ability to him to move up. So definitely this is going to be a turning point in a lot of things. And again, like he also said, if you decide to go homeschooling, you may actually want to think about that as well, because again, from this bill and other bills, it's just going to make all kinds of types of schooling just horrific. Like homeschool, I'm sure homeschooling is going to be the next target. So that's also something we got to look out for. Yeah, I mean, with the way he's acting, I mean, I don't even think he should even try. But again, like like that pastor said, he talks like Batman. He has good looking hair, or whatever. So that may be all you may need to run for president. I don't know nowadays. I mean, possibly can. If that's the case, can we get somebody really good looking up there? Can we get like Brad Pitt? Oh, I don't know. He's kind of old now, and so is Shamar Moore. And I can't go young because then y'all be looking at me like, that's a little young for you. But yeah, I don't know. I wouldn't say good look. I mean, I guess it all depends on your cup of tea, but yeah, I wouldn't say he would be the best either. I mean, then again, I mean, look who, I mean, there's a lot of, and again, I get we're not going to always agree on all aspects as far as what the president wants to do and see eye to eye again, but taken to this extent and not caring what about like what happens to the children, that's just gone far beyond selfishness, basically. So this bill is also going to grant caregivers the legal ability to enroll. Okay, I already went that. So this bill is also going to require, or is not going to require schools or daycare facilities to verify the identity, relationship, or legit. So again, these affidavits, these emergency contacts and releases and things like that that the schools and the daycares provide us to do. Again, it's useless now, especially if they're not going to require, if this bill is not going to require them to verify any kind of identity. So you know how typically you're supposed to go into school, show your thing, and then make sure it's you, so they give the correct child to the correct parent. This is, or guardian in this case. But yeah, it doesn't make sense. So it's not going to require schools or daycare facilities to verify the identity, relationship, or legitimacy of the adult presenting the caregiver's authorization affidavit. So, while observing them of any liability should the child be handed over to a stranger or traffickers. So, again, this bill is not going to require for daycare facilities or schools to verify the identity, and is also going to release them of any kind of liability that they released them to the wrong people or to a bad person or if anything. So if anything happens to your child after they give your child to that person, they have no response. They're not going to, you can't hold them responsible for it, basically. So this also going to require court documents related to joint guardianship arrangements appointed in anticipation of parents' temporarily unavailability, including immigration related detention, to be kept confidential and only accessible to parties in the case. Disclosure to immigration authorities is prohibited without a court order based on compelling necessity unrelated to immigration enforcement. In short, AB 49 significantly reduces oversight and verification and assigning authority over children, introducing the potential for confusion and misuse, again, misuse in situations where parental rights and child safeties are at stake. So basically what they're saying is that, again, we cause these U.S. citizens, these children who are U.S. citizens, we cause them to be at risk. We put their safety at risk. And so, again, they're coming out with this bill to try to, but they're just they're just, again, they're just extending this thing. I don't know. This is horrific. So again, so the safety and compassion. Let's see the real path forward. California Family Council's Vice President Greg Burt summarized the concerns succinctly, we affirm the importance of keeping children safe and families together if you can in times of crisis, Burt said. But compassion without guardrails is not mercy, it is madness. That is perfect. I like that. It is not, we're not trying to be incompatible. This is compassion without guardrails. We get that you're trying to help these children, yes, because no children should be split from their parent or anything like that, and then just thrown to the wolves, and you're more focused on making sure the parents get back to where they go, and you're not focusing on the child who is a U.S. citizen. So yes, this is madness. California already has mechanisms such as temporary guardianship through the courts that provide for these scenarios with safeguards intact. The notion that compassion must come at the expense of parental rights and child safety is a false dichotomy. Dichotomy. Okay. Word I can pronounce. Okay. Let's move on, right? So I'll learn how to say it when I do Google later, because that's where it's gonna kill me. But again, I can't believe that they are gonna allow this. Again, I believe it's within the next week or so. Let's go to the website that so this is, I don't know where that came from. Okay. Okay. So let's share this one. So this is the realimpact.us, the one that he has set to go. If you know anybody who's in California, around the Sacramento, nearby cities and counties and districts, Sacramento's his name Jack Tibbs, I think, if I remember correctly, this preacher who we watched earlier, yeah, Pastor Jack Hibbs, is having a rally and lobby on the day. So join Pastor Jack Hibbs and concerned Californians as we rally to stop AB495, a dangerous bill that could strip parents of custody over their own children. This is not a critical moment. We must make our voices heard and urge our state senators to vote no on AB495. So again, this is going to be held on Tuesday, August 19th of 2025 at the California State Capitol in Sacramento on the west side of Capitol steps. Again, he did say that the schedule PM, it was rally at 1 o'clock, lobby training 2, and then lobby legislators 2:30. But the times may change since they were able to get the steps open all day. So we'll see if that changes, but definitely that day, August 19th, if you can, and you do want to rally, just go there, you register here, and you let us know that let them know that you will be joining them. They have a little map here. Is it showing on the screen? No? Okay. I didn't realize that the screen wasn't showing, guys. I'm sorry. I thought I was still sharing. So this... Okay, here we go. So again, this is the Sacramento. This is going to be held California State Capitol Tuesday, August 19th, 2025 at 1 p.m. Again, this time may change. We'll find out Sunday, because remember he said he'll make the announcement Sunday. But see the time, because remember they were only allowed the steps in the afternoon, but somebody did their magic and they were able to get them all day long. So the time may change. So just keep a lookout for that. But the date's going to stay the same. The reason to stop AB 495, that's all going to be the same. So again, if you want to go, if you know anybody, please send them this information. They can go here and register. Again, this is AB 495. What does bill say? The California legislature once again undermining parental rights. California lawmakers are pushing AB 495, a bill that opens the door for a relative or even a non-relative extended family member to take custody of a child by merely handing over a signed affidavits to school or child care staff. No court order, no background check, no verification of parental consent. According to the bill, A parent signature or a seal or signature from the court is not required, and shockingly, a person who relies on the affidavit has no obligation to make any further inquiry or investigation. It gets worse. The bill sidesteps strict ID verification, allowing individuals to present a California driver's license, consular ID, or even a Medi-Cal, which is their form of Medicaid, or social security number as proof of identity, leaving the door wide open for abuse. Most alarming, if the parent isn't aware or doesn't actively object, this so-called caregiver, even a non-relative, would have the power to make critical medical decisions for the child. That includes authorizing immunizations and physical exams. So let's just say if you have religious issues, not issues, religious reasons for not um, getting immunizations and things like that. Now all of a sudden you're with somebody, you leave your child with somebody and they don't have the same religious values, so they just go ahead and take your child to get all these. Yeah, not the best. So and sometimes these religions, like if you do something to your body, then you're no longer like you're considered unclean. So like yeah, not something. So you're messing with people's religion as well. If you think this process through. So, a caregiver who is a relative or a non-relative extended family member shall have the same rights to authorize medical and dental care for the minor that are given to guardians. This is a direct threat to parental authority and a dangerous step forward, stripping parents of their rights without their knowledge or consent. Again, AB 49 legislated terms. This is what they considered a person. Includes an individual, corporation, partnership, association, the state, or any city and county, or other public entity or governmental subdivision or agency, or any other legal entity. Non-relative extended family member. What this means is any adult caregiver who has an established familial or mentoring relationship with the child, or who has an established familial relationship with a relative of the child. Again, like I said, tutor, coach, counselor, therapist, things of that nature. Relative means an adult who is related to the child by blood, adoption, or affinity within the fifth degree of kinship, including all step parents, step siblings, and all relatives whose status is preceded by the words great, great great, or grand. So, like grandpa, great grandma, great great uncle, anything that is blood related or married into kind of thing. Those are considered pretty much relatives, or the spouse of any of the persons specified in this definition, or the spouse. So let's just say great uncle and the wife, great aunt and the husband, so the spouse of any of the persons specified in this definition, even after the marriage has been terminated by death or dissolution. So if you get divorced, that person's still considered a relative. School-related medical care means medical care including immunizations, physical examinations, and medical examinations conducted in the schools for pupils that is required by state or local government authority as a condition for school enrollment or participation in local educational agency related to extracurricular activities. A parent, custodian, or guardian may revoke a joint guardianship issued pursuant to its subdivision by filing a request to terminate the guardianship with the court. Upon a showing that the activating event no longer affects the parent's availability to provide care for the child, there shall be presumption that termination is the child's best interest. So again, let's click on this because this is what the caregiver's authorization looks like. We're going to go through this, guys. Yes, we are going through this. So this is what the caregiver authorization affidavit looks like. One, it says use of this affidavit is authorized by Part 1.5, commencing with Section 6550 of Division 11 of the California Family Code. Instructions: completion of items 1 through 4 and signing of the affidavit is sufficient to authorize enrollment of a minor in school and authorize school-related medical care. Completion of items. Oh, I could share that. Can I download this? Download this. Okay. Okay, we'll download it later. Okay, addition required to authorize any medical care, print clearly. So what they're going to need to do is the minor name below lives in my home and I am 18 years of age or older. So you're going to put the name of the minor's birth date, then the name that wants to take this child, and then the address you're taking the child to. Then they're saying I am a relative or non-relative extended family member of the child. See back of the form for the relative. So we already read the definitions of a relative and a non-relative extended family member. Then you're going to go down to number 6. You're going to check one or both. For example, if one parent was advised and the other cannot be located. So we're going to have checkbox number 1, I have advised the parents or other person having legal custody of the minor of my intent to authorize medical care and receive no objection. Or you can put, I am unable to contact the parent or parents or other person or persons having legal custody of the minor at this time to notify them of my intended authorization. So what you can do is you can click that one because you don't need to tell anybody that you're taking the child. Then you can put your date of birth, the date of birth of the person that's taking the child. And then my California driver's license or identification card or government issued consular card number. So they're going to put the number here. Warning to caregivers, do not sign this form if any of the statements above are incorrect, or you will be committing a crime punishable by the fine, imprisonment, or both. Warning to local educational agencies and healthcare service providers. A parent's signature or a seal or a signature from a court is not required. So therefore, you don't need to go look in your book and see who the emergency contacted or see who the parent only authorized to or anything like that. I declare under penalty or perjury under the laws of the state of California that the foregoing is true and correct. So the only thing that really gives them who took their child is maybe the driver's license, because again, it could be anybody. They can have a fake ID, whatever, put all this information, and then that child's gone, and so is that person, that adult. And then here's the back of it where it says, note the declaration does not affect rights of the minor's parents or legal guardian regarding the care, custody, and control of the minor, and does not mean that the caregiver has legal custody of the minor. A person who relies on the affidavit has no obligation to make any further inquiry or investigation. So again, this is exactly, let's see if we can share this. Oh, you know what? I'll just leave this up and we'll share it later. So again, this is straight from the AB495 and Lobby Day. And they have different flyers so you can print out and give to somebody, but I would just share it. So again, if you know anybody who is in California, definitely want to rally, because once this bill goes through, your child is no longer safe. They are no longer safe. And I don't know if maybe this is a tactic that I really don't know what's going on with California and this whole thing. There's just a lot going on over there in California, from the riots and so on and so forth. Now you're coming out with this bill. You, on the other hand, already said you're against what's going on with the immigration, but you're just making it 10 times worse. So now since you didn't like what we did, you just want to put everybody at risk. So the whole thing is like, yes, ICE raids and all this did put the children at risk, but let's not retaliate and put everybody's children at risk. Let's try to make it safer. I really don't understand the way people think sometimes. I mean, like, did we just like lose common sense all around? Like, this is basic knowledge and common sense. And like, I swear, sometimes people just act like they don't have it. So again, I'm glad I was able to bring this information to you guys. We really need to spread the word. Share this information. Go. I don't care if you just share the affidavit. Go share the affidavit. Say it so that way people. You can see. I'm sorry. I didn't realize you could see the TV when I had my head in the way. Hold on. I think it was Paranorman. Okay. So again, everybody, thank you for being here. Once school starts, I do kind of want to start doing more of a routine, probably like around a 10 o'clock, like this time, a 10 o'clock show. And then maybe one in the afternoon around 2 o'clock before the kids get home. I don't know. I definitely can't do a really early morning one. We're not doing that. I got to wait till my kids be gone. And so I must say, like, I really don't like the Texas schooling either and the education system here. But for my mind's sake, that is my me time. They do learn. What the heck? Obviously they do obviously learn more with me than they do when they're at school anyway. So trust me, over the summer my kids learn more. That's because I gave them schoolwork over the summer so they don't like in a month become stupid. I'm like, no, we can't have that. We got enough stupid people in this world. Okay. Try homeschooling 6 kids, or now 5, so not doing it. And then my other one actually does really well in school. So I mean, can't say that. But leave it to the boys to mess everything up for everybody, right? My boys are a handful. They're funny. But I need my break. So see, that's also another thing. They should just like make a system to where, people who have like 3 kids or more can like go and have a program, drop off your kids for a few hours for a mental break. But again, this I don't know what's going on with my stuff today. I just think I had this title up for a little too long because technically I was supposed to do this yesterday, but my husband was home yesterday, and with him home I can never do anything. So he's just like the rest of the kids. So he really is a grown kid. I mean, he's not. No, he's a boy. So but yeah. So I think they were aware of me doing this segment today, but I think it really needs to be heard. And again, because if they allow it in California, who knows what other states are going to follow behind, because usually California is a trendsetter sometimes when it comes to certain things. And again, there's a lot of things here in Texas that I wish we can change, and I'll eventually, once these kids start going back to school, I can really focus on going out to the community and really speaking and spreading the word and spreading this information. Because again, if they prove this in California, who's to say that the next state isn't going to pass it, or the next state after that, or the next state catches on to oh, look, they're doing this over there. And again, it just depends on who's in office at the time, who is willing to overlook the dangers of what can happen with this type of bill. So again, we really need to push this forward. Put a post up, share it, like it, tell family members, because you never know. Maybe a cousin may have one family member over there, or a relative or somebody, a friend. Maybe you have a friend that has family over there, or a friend that moved from California and she's she has parents or siblings or aunts and uncles over there, like they need to, I'm sure everybody's alert now of what's going on, but I think the more people who spread the word, and who shares it and things like that, it just opens the eyes to our community as well, so that way we don't be blindsided when it starts trickling this way. So again, just because it's not happening here now doesn't mean that this bill may not find its way later on, and we definitely need to be aware and be conscious of what's going on. Again, this bill's been going on for a while. It looks like since, several months already, and it's just barely making its way here to Texas, at least on my thing. And I'm online a lot, and I'm on, platforms a lot and things like that. And I try to keep up with stuff. But again, if we don't speak out about it, it's not going to get far. Like, so again, let's see. And I am trying, let's see, after this, like, what's it again? When school starts, I should have more of a set schedule. I should be able to have more of a set. I do want to have one set to where I do just have like interviews or a guest on, to where we can just kind of like shoot the breeze kind of thing, and not always be so intense on the subjects. So that will be coming soon. I just got to wait till these kids get back to school to really sit down and think what's going to go on. And definitely want to get back into like my Dish and Tea with D kind of show, where it was just me, expressing my opinions, talking to people, whatever. And it was kind of like, oh, the sun's orange, no, the sun's green. That's okay. Well, we can have a debate about that. It's not necessarily having it, but at the same time, maybe, we still need to stick to the topic. Like, I'll share some life stories. Like, I don't care. I mean, I'm not embarrassed about what happened to me or what I did or what, it is what it is. I'm here now. I'm me. And I don't care. So if you have an issue with it, thank you. I love you guys too. So again, don't forget, if you want to reach out to me to ever be on this up here, chit-chatting or anything like that, just email me. Just go to the link to the site below, the streamlabs.com/Dish and Tea with D. There's a spot on there where you can email me. You can send donations to Vivid Lifestyles from there. Again, Vivid Lifestyles, we help heal the wound of abuse. Again, we are really trying to start off with getting these apartments turned around and being implicated in some of these abuse matters, and not always putting the blame on the parents, because again, money is an issue. So, and it's always about finances and things like that. So when you have people living in dire situations and there's no rules or regulations, see, again, finances is always plays a part. But again, we will be hopefully hosting another event soon. I got to get back with the manager at Reader Schnitzel, see, set up another time. Hopefully it'll be in September sometime, or maybe we'll do like in October, like a Halloween thing or something. I really don't know, because I don't do cold very well, so I got to figure out a good time where it's not going to be too cold. I don't mind it being hot. It's like, I don't care. Y'all see sweat dripping down my face. I really don't care, because I'm fine. But let me be freezing and you just want to see me do this the whole time. I'm not going to be fun. So again, if you do want to donate financially to help heal the wound of abuse, you could go up to the QR code at the top of the screen. Go ahead and donate there. If you want to donate to the channel, you can go down to the link below. You can either donate to the channel or to the organization. Again, this channel is for my organization. It is to spread the word and help save the children, help heal the wound of abuse of adults, kids, men and women, elderly. So again, this is what this channel is for. So regardless if you donate to Vivid Lifestyles or the channel, it all goes to the same thing. This channel is what helps me spread the word. Again, please reach out to me if you ever want to come on here and chill for a while. So, and then hopefully I will get a schedule, and then maybe we'll come up with some topics. Because again, I do want to do my news thing. I do want to keep y'all updated on what's going on with everything that's happening around here locally and around the world, or around at least US for the most part. And then I just want to have one episode where it's just personal, maybe a personal memoir or something like that, where, or diary, I'll call it Denise's diary or whatever. We can go through my life, we could chit chat, we can compare it, we can, talk about related, have it related to certain issues on top of all that, but it's not always going to be so serious. So I want to split those two up like that, but still focus on the topic. So again, thank you for being here. Rainbow Tasha, it was nice to have you back. I know it's been a while. Again, they start school on Monday, so just give me a couple of more days to be, and then maybe here, maybe there. But once Monday comes around, maybe even like Tuesday, Wednesday, once I can get situated, because now my kids are taking separate buses, and I'm gonna have 2 kids on one bus, 2 kids on another bus. So I'm like, okay, I'm supposed to be at 2 places at once. Awesome, but we'll figure it out. So once the first 2 days, we work out our little kinks, we'll be right back in the groove. So hopefully once I get back to school, maybe even that first week, I'll be on still. Hopefully I'll get on every day just to kind of get into the routine of things, but to actually the start of a set schedule probably won't be to the following week once everything is set. I mean, I already know my kids already have appointments for the next 2 or 3 weeks still. So, I mean, go figure. So there may be a day or two where the next 2 Thursdays, I probably won't be on. I think, is it this Thursday and next Thursday? So not tomorrow, but the following Thursday and then the Thursday after that. So yeah, it's at least the kids will be back at school, and I could take one at a time, and it's not going to be so hectic. But again, thank you guys for being here with me. I'm going to go for now. Again, I'm updating my Carmelo Anthony, so maybe I'll be on later and talk about Carmelo Anthony and the whole situation of what's going on with that, because a lot has happened. People, gag orders, children's information are being released from the school, things like that. Like, it's chaotic from there. I don't know what's going on with school districts across the United States, but they need to get their shenanigans together. But again, thank you for being here. As always, it was fun chit-chatting with you guys. And until next time, don't forget, pinkies up.